Unless you've designed a brand new home from start to finish, chances are your home has some design challenges. Maybe it's a room that's too narrow or a window in the master bedroom that just doesn't fit, it doesn't make sense. Whatever your design dilemma, designer Meagan Macievic is here today with solutions to the most common challenges she's often asked by her client. So let's tee it up here. Have you ever seen a home, Meagan, that's perfect with no design dilemmas to work around?
No.
Doesn't exist?
Never. Doesn't exist. There's always fur downs, window. I mean, everything has a little ripple in the design, and they need some experts and some confidence, I guess, of a designer, but we're here to teach them how they can be confident.
Well, and you point out part of the problem is as we're planning or designing our spaces, we're often pulling from these beautifully perfect inspiration pictures.
Yeah. Every time we go, how do I want to do this room? We're going to our Pinterest or Instagram, and really what we see there is the perfect room. And they don't have those little flaws of older homes or what. So it's harder to search those photos, but they are out there. You can search them. Sometimes they're in magazines, but they do exist. You're not the only one with these problems.
You're going to help us work around. We're going to open the door, throw open the door, peel back the curtain, so to speak. One problem you're asked about quite often, especially in older homes that were designed a couple of decades ago, is that bedroom window that's off center. It's not symmetrical. It's not balanced with the room. What's the problem here?
Right. Okay. So the biggest problem is that our eye is always attracted to symmetry and balance, right? So that bedroom window just throws a big thorn in our side. What typically people want to do is almost just put the bed in front of it and hide the window.
Like it's not there.
Like it's not there. Don't look. Well, that just makes everything a little bit uglier. So we want to almost enhance that window. What we can do with that, one of the first tricks is to use window treatments to fix it.
Okay, but how? How would you use the window treatments in that space?
It's tricky, and I think sometimes we feel like there's more rules to window treatments than there really is. I use draperies. I take that rod and I run it extra long. I make my window look bigger.
Oh, look at that.
And then what we do is we actually take the drapery panel and we even cover the edge of that window so you can't see where it ends and where it doesn't begin.
That window could be the whole wall.
That window's the whole wall for all you know.
Genius, genius.
So there, it's going to be, I'm so sorry, it's going to be like a custom panel more because you're going to have to go extra wide on one side. It's going to be harder to do that shop from the store panel, but if you know a seamstress, find a good fabric, or most people are so talented with sewing or their mother can bang this out.
You want it to be that same thickness, that same.
You want to balance, so you have to elongate the wall and create balance. So one side might be thicker than the other, and that's okay.
And speaking of that balance, you say that's key to working around a dilemma like this as well.
Absolutely.
Try to find the way to even it out through what?
Right.
Through art?
So other things are, if you don't want to do the drapery thing, you can just balance it with your one nightstand, throw a lamp on it. You're going to fill that negative space on that wall. You're going to balance it with artwork, with mirrors, just anything. Now we're just as heavy on one side as we are to the window side.
Gotcha.
And then our eyes see symmetry and balance. Everything's decored up. But again, dress up that window and finish the space off that way.
Looking at those inspiration pictures, it's amazing to see that balance does pay off. I mean, your eye just rests, right, when you're looking at the space. Window, light over here, chunky nightstand lamp over there.
Exactly.
All right, design dilemma number 2, low ceilings. These are tricky. Low ceilings.
I know, they're so tricky, especially in, I think, Utah and areas like this, because we really need to use our basements as a living space. Right. And so we've got low ceilings in basements. Okay, number 1, let's make that worst feature your best feature.
How? How do we do that?
Hey, decorate that ceiling, make it a pop, make it an art piece. That will actually bring the eye up and helps make the ceiling recess rather than lower. It's kind of a trick of the eye.
That's a fun idea. So paint or pattern, make your eyes work up. With art in a space like a basement, for example, where the ceiling's lower and the walls feel a little more squished, what kind of scale are we looking for in our art selection? I
really like to go with more of a vertical type of a style rather than horizontal, because then I want that eye to go up. And we end up thinking that the ceiling's so low that we throw little pieces of art. And when everything goes little in the room, it tricks the eye into really seeing how small of a space it is.
See, so that's surprising. Go big.
Yeah, go big.
Even in a small space.
Yep, go get that huge art, go vertical, let it touch, raise your draperies all the way to the ceiling, anything you want to do, and bring that eye up.
How does the scale of furniture play into that overall vibe?
Yeah, so overstuffed high furniture that really touches the ceiling can actually, again, show scale that we're like, yeah, that doesn't even fit in the room.
You're like, okay, yeah, the back of the couch is the ceiling.
Exactly, and I'm not not necessarily saying, guess what, your couch is too big. I'm saying, guess what, your ceiling is too low. Well, it's easier to replace the sofa or a bed than it is your ceiling height, right? So I say just invest in the proper dimension of the furniture,
the proper scale. All right, last dilemma, a narrow room.
Narrow rooms, you know what? They exist in every home, even new construction, old construction, every size of home.
There's always that little corner you try to make the most square footage out of.
Exactly, or long gallery areas. But the rooms, one of the best tricks is really if you can do something with a custom piece of furniture or custom upholstery. There's a lot of tradesmen out there. You can find like a skilled carpenter. With that, the reason I like to do that is not only can I fit a bed on one side, I can actually have a nightstand built in. I can have a dresser built into that or a desk, and I'm making the most of the little space that I have and freeing up as much floor space as possible.
And we previously talked about using kind of the ceiling and the floor as our focal points. In narrow rooms, you say use end to end as your guiding
Yes, absolutely. So when you walk into a room, make that pop of that wall a focal point. Really enhance it. And if you can do all those areas that are focal points and really attack them, the room will actually widen to the eye rather than feel more narrow. You're gonna just, once the eye can go all the way around the room and everywhere can have a focal point, you just widened your room.
This made so much sense. This was like a trillion ahas right in a row for all of those design problems that we just hate about our homes. So thank you so much. If we want more help designing our homes or inspiration from you, where can we
get on our Instagram page at meaganrayinteriors.com. Or meaganrayinteriors.com, and our Instagram is Meagan Ray Interiors.
You got some fun projects going.
So fun.
It's fun to peek in and see the experts at work. So thanks for the advice.
Thanks for having me.